Zhang Shengwu grew up near a great river. The mighty Yangtze River flowed past his home in China. Every day, he watched the boats. Big ships and small boats moved on the water. They carried people and goods. Zhang was just a boy, but he was fascinated. He looked at the boats and wondered how they worked. He wondered where they were going. The river was a huge part of his life. It was a place of mystery and adventure. This river planted a seed in his young mind. It was a seed of curiosity, a desire to understand the world of water. As a young man, Zhang became a farmer. He worked hard on the land. He grew crops and raised animals. His hands were strong from years of labor, but his mind never left the river. He still watched the boats. He still dreamed of exploring. One evening he was watching television. A show about submarines came on the screen. He saw these amazing machines. They could dive deep under the water. They could explore a hidden world. This was a powerful moment for him. It was an incredible idea. He thought, I want to do that. The idea was bold. It was a crazy idea for a farmer with no special training, but the thought would not leave him. He was 60 years old. Many people at this age think about resting. They think about quiet days, not Zhang. He felt a fire inside him. He wanted to build his own submarine. He had no engineering books. He had no special degrees. He only had his dream and his own two hands. This was a massive challenge. It was like climbing a huge mountain alone. But Zhang was not afraid of a challenge. He was ready to start his biggest adventure yet. This dream was not just about building a machine. It was about proving something. It was about showing that an ordinary person can do extraordinary things. He wanted to touch the world beneath the waves. He wanted to see what was hidden from the surface. For him, the submarine was a key. It was a key to unlock a secret part of the world. It was a symbol of human spirit, a spirit that wants to explore, a spirit that pushes past limits. Zhang Shengwu, the farmer, was about to become an inventor. He was about to chase a dream that started long ago on the riverbank. Building a submarine is not easy. It takes time and it takes money. Zhang Shengwu did not have much of either. He was retired. He had a small amount of savings. He could not buy expensive parts. So he had to be clever. He had to use what he could find. He went to scrap yards. He looked for old pieces of metal. He found steel plates and pipes. These were the bones of his new creation. He used simple tools. He had a welder and a grinder. He did not have a fancy workshop. He worked in his small yard under the open sky. Every night, Zhang worked late. The sun would go down, but his welder would spark to life. The sounds of cutting and hammering filled the night air. His family was worried. They saw him working so hard. They saw him spending his money on scrap metal. They thought it was a dangerous hobby. "What are you doing?" they would ask. "This is not safe." They loved him and did not want him to get hurt. But Zhang had a vision. He knew what he was building. He kept working, even when others doubted him. His determination was as strong as the steel he was shaping. His first submarine was a test. It was his first attempt to conquer the water. He worked on it for months. Finally, it was ready. He took it to a local pond for its first dive. It was a tense moment. He got inside and sealed the hatch. The submarine went under the water, but it was not perfect. Water started to leak inside. The controls were difficult to handle. He had to surface quickly. For some, this would be a failure. It would be a reason to stop. But for Zhang, it was a lesson. It was the most important lesson of all. Failure is a great teacher if you listen. And Zhang listened carefully. He saw every leak and every problem, not as an ending, but as a guide. He learned where the weaknesses were. He understood what needed to be stronger. He now knew more about pressure and balance. The first attempt did not break his spirit. It made it stronger. He was not defeated. He was educated. He knew that to succeed, you must first learn from your mistakes. He was now ready to build again. This time he would build something better, something stronger, something that could truly explore the deep. With new knowledge, Zhang Shengwu started his second project. He called this new submarine the Big Black Fish. The name was perfect. It was long and dark, shaped like a creature of the deep. He made many improvements. He used thicker steel to build the hull. This would help it withstand the immense pressure of the water. He carefully welded every seam twice. He wanted to make sure there were absolutely no leaks this time. Inside, he installed better controls. He added a periscope to see above the water. He even included an oxygen tank for longer dives. This was not just scrap metal anymore. It was a real vessel. The big black fish was a marvel of simple engineering. It had electric motors for propulsion. These motors turned a propeller at the back. It also had ballast tanks. To dive, Zhang would let water into these tanks. This made the submarine heavier, and it would sink slowly. To come back up, he used compressed air to push the water out. This made the submarine lighter, and it would rise to the surface. It was a simple system, but it was effective. He had figured out the basic principles of submarine travel all by himself. He was the captain and the engineer of his own ship. The day came for the big black fish to make its first real dive. Zhang took it to a deeper body of water. His heart was pounding, but he was confident. He climbed inside and sealed the hatch. He activated the controls. The submarine slipped beneath the surface smoothly. He descended to a depth of several meters. He looked out through the small portholes. He saw a quiet, green world. Fish swam by, curious about this strange new creature. He stayed underwater for some time, testing the controls. Everything worked. He had done it. He had built a working submarine. When he surfaced, he was a hero. News of his creation spread quickly online. People were amazed. Photos and videos of the big black fish went viral. Everyone was talking about the 60-year-old farmer who built a submarine in his backyard. Many people praised his ingenuity and his spirit. They saw him as an inspiration. Of course, there were also discussions about safety. Some people worried that homemade submarines were dangerous. They were right to be cautious, but Zhang was careful. He tested his creation in shallow water first. He understood the risks and took them seriously. At first, Zhang's family was full of worry. They saw the long nights and the risks. They feared for his safety. But when they saw the big black fish work perfectly, their fear turned into immense pride. They saw the joy in his eyes. They understood that this was more than just a hobby. It was the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. His wife and children became his biggest supporters. They saw the world celebrating his achievement. They were proud of the farmer, the inventor, the dreamer. He had shown them, and the world, that it is never too late to chase your passion with everything you have. Zhang Shengwu's story is a powerful lesson in perseverance. He faced many obstacles. He had limited money and no formal training. His first attempt was not a success. Many people would have given up at any of these points, but Zhang did not. He kept going. He learned, he adapted, and he overcame. His story teaches us that the path to success is often filled with challenges. True strength is not about never failing. It is about getting back up every time you fall. It is about having the grit to see a difficult project through to the very end. His journey also celebrates the power of creativity and self-learning. In a world of experts and specialists, Zhang proved that you can learn anything if you have the passion. He did not wait for someone to teach him. He taught himself. He used his hands and his mind to solve complex problems. He looked at scrap metal and saw a submarine. This ability to see potential where others see junk is the heart of innovation. He reminds us that the greatest resource we have is our own mind and our willingness to experiment and learn from the world around us. In the end, Zhang Shengwu's story is about more than just a homemade submarine. It is a universal message of hope and inspiration. It shows us that big dreams are not just for the young or the wealthy. They are for anyone with a strong heart and a determined spirit. Whether it is building a submarine, climbing a mountain, or starting a new life, the principles are the same. Work hard, never give up, believe in yourself. Zhang Shengwu, the farmer from the banks of the Yangtze, did not just explore the world beneath the water. He showed all of us how to explore the incredible potential that lies within ourselves.